Are we going?
We're rolling.
Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 458. Out here at CrossFit Clue Misfit Camp. Got three of the Misfitters right here, the most important ones, right? So we got Seth, Drew, behind the camera, Ted.
You nailed it.
Come on, flip it over. Oh, hey, Mom, here. So something that we went over today, we did some gymnastic skills, some muscle-up stuff, which you guys might see in the future, and now some handstand push-up stuff. And there's some big differences, I guess different schools of thought, we would say, right?
Yeah.
Of what the way that you guys train or the way that you guys teach the technique. And I thought it was really good to bring for the viewers, so that's what we're going to try to do today. So we're going to do a demo, and then we're going to try to fix me because I'm all screwed up. So let's go through it. Drew, go ahead.
You like 3 reps. Cool. Yeah, so the handstand push-up's kind of a funny movement. Once you learn it once or once you get your first one, you kind of think you have it locked in, right? So you don't really give it a lot of thought except, I can't wait to get back upside down and do it again. And what usually happens with people that don't have that strict strength to push it out first is they end up overloading their hips, their pelvis turns off the wall, they kick up and they get that super banana back situation. So as we just saw with Drew, we did not see that overloading with the knees down, and we can give a bad example in a second. We saw him really drive the knees apart, keeping his feet close together, a few inches off the wall, and then when he kicks up, the feet move up together, all the energy goes vertical, nice and straight up and down. So that the lack of turning the pelvis helps keep his spine nice and stacked.
I see gymnasts in general, like they're so much better at keeping that rigid torso, and they're able to deliver power, in a vertical direction so much better versus, a lot of
in their range, they can
crazy.
also have some of that tuck that we don't allow because the pelvis doesn't move at all. But we can't, we're in the business of repeatability across X amount of athletes. So getting one, throwing that big heave, that doesn't really do a lot for us in our sport, right? So
yeah, absolutely. For those of you guys that don't know, Drew's like this movement guru, obsessive compulsive type A guy that everything that he does, like whenever you say something, you're like, yeah, but is that repeatable? You're like, for 100 reps?
That's the goal, right?
I guess, right?
I mean, is that not CrossFit?
That's CrossFit, yeah. So, okay, so I guess you're right. It's like one of the things when we do handstand push-ups, I think about, I relate that to running, right? As soon as I can run, I put one foot in front of the other. I forget that there's actually any technique that's involved in running, but there's actually a bunch of skill that is. So I guess handstand push-ups would be like that. So do you guys want me to do one now and just show you all the things I screw up?
Yeah.
All right.
So why don't you give us your best 3 to 5, and then we'll talk about what we see versus what we saw with Drew's.
Okay. Nobody make fun of the gunk elbow. I can keep on doing this all day. It's repeatable.
Good. Come on down. So, you had the advantage of going through some of the stuff with us already, right? So it's not like that's how it looked when we first started doing this. But what we saw with the WODdoc a little bit is that the knees still tuck way down to the chest. So even though he's able to keep that position pretty well, he could really shorten that range and speed up that repeatability and the rep count much faster by pushing the knees out, loading, and driving straight up. So that's something we could do. Yours were very slow, kind of one after
You
another.
say go fast.
And they're repeatable.
How many frames per second you got on that? We could make it go faster.
You could. So if
Speed
you
it
think
up in
about
post.
If you think about the handstand push-up in terms of the open, hanging out upside down or taking your time, even on your head with your shoulders under tension in the bottom, burns you out, right? So it's about that cycle range. So I'm gonna have Drew come in here now and kind of push his knees out and kind of step up the pace a little bit so you can see what we're talking about. So see how far out he pushes his knees. It's still loading the hip. I do this all day. It's repeatable. That's what he calls
he's taking my jokes. So the biggest thing, could you jump back under there? Because I know that what I saw different about mine than his. Just go down to that bottom position. That's what we were kind of talking about there. You see how vertical Drew is and the way that he keeps almost in this butterfly position, right? Like the butterfly, the old gym style stretch that we used to do. So I'd go on from there. I mean, that's what I saw the difference between what I do and what he does.
Take a deep breath and get back up there.
It's repeatable. You can
So the biggest thing, again, go ahead and get down now and load that position. The biggest thing again is if you look at the side of his pelvis, everything is stacked. His spine is nice and straight. If he were to overload the hip, bring the knees forward, yep. So you see how the pelvis rolls off the wall. All of a sudden that now changes the angle of the
Now
back.
we have to move more or use more energy to get ourselves back into a better position to then deliver vertical pressure.
And where is this energy going when he kicks up? It's not going along the wall.
It's going to push him off the wall.
Exactly.
So that
you'll have to come out and around to accomplish the same goal.
And then as we get more tired, you come out, around, and off.
Exactly.
And that's where those people end up in the.
And think if you've probably seen some in slow motion, they kick up and they're almost at the top, pressing. They didn't use the energy to go straight up and just kind of be weightless and catch at the top. They're pressing, and then next thing you know, they fought for 3 seconds for 1 rep.
Right. Yeah, I see this. This is the one that I see. Hopefully, I can do it. Right. So it's like this. They get to here and they go. Like that type of thing.
So you have extra time under tension. You're pressing out to finish, and you're pressing in a very compromising position, right?
Right.
So once those shoulders go into workout, they're not coming back either.
Yeah.
So the more you can do the style Drew did, straight up, straight down, over and over again, the less you're actually worried about the shoulders, and the more you're putting on the hips. The hips work forever. That's why we do everything quarter extremity. The
Big
hips
muscles,
work forever.
So the take-home point there is just show a bad one versus a good one. I think that one was such a good take-home point that everyone could see. The ones like I do where my knees come out, and so then we have so much more travel to get ourselves back into a good position versus straight up, straight down, right? That one, lot less energy used. Then every time we can use less energy per rep, it's gonna be better because it's more repeatable, more sustainable, under fatigue. And we know that the more movement that we have under fatigue, it's gonna get even worse, right? Because everybody breaks down to a little bit, right? You watch a marathon or the best ones come across the line, they might not look the best their last 10 steps. So if we can keep it as cinched up in the beginning as we can, save as much energy as we can, the end result probably won't look as bad.
The last point I'll make is we're talking about accomplishing something from point A to point B. We're talking about straight lines, right? Shortest distance between 2 points, straight line. Point A is down at the bottom. Point A is straight up, kicked out. There's no point C going out, around, in the middle, and then trying to fix it. So it's straight up, straight down.
So what would you also suggest for those people that do that thing? Would you start from the core, or would you still stick right here with the hips?
Well, one thing that I think is super important is you notice how close my head is to the wall in that position.
Yes, I do.
If you don't have the mobility and the stability to go through those positions, what do, right? I want to do the right muscle up. I've got some shoulder stability, but I can't keep track of the midline. I'm overextending in this position.
Right.
So you have to make sure that your goal is increasingly getting yourself closer in that position. Now we want the tripod, we want the hands out off the wall, but it's so much easier for me because I'm not moving diagonally up and down. My head's only a few inches off the wall, but that's not realistic for a lot of athletes. So spending the time becoming just perfect in a handstand and having the mobility and the stability to do that.
So mobility and stability is an important part of becoming an efficient athlete. I think that's good enough. We can end on that one, definitely.
Okay.
So, great. Guys, I really appreciate you letting me come out tonight.
Awesome.
I appreciate it so much, and thank you for all the knowledge. You know, it's a great thing to meet other people that are also trying to spread great knowledge. If you guys haven't checked them out, misfitathletics.com.
That's right.
Awesome stuff, awesome club. Guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.